It's finally happening. NorCal VGC's first local event, collaborating with Professor Ragna, which is another like high-level Worlds competitor, and multiple other Pokemon professors. We will be hosting our first VGC locals at King Comics and Games. More details below. Here's the location, here's the address, here's the entry fee. So this is the sort of thing you have to actually host a bunch of to get like CP certified events. But anyways, local events coming back are a really, really big deal. A lot of people say there should be more regionals, there should be more Pokemon VGC, there should be more tournaments. Well, there are tournaments. There are tournaments like this. For the past 3 years, we haven't really had premier challenges. We haven't really had mid-seasons. And it's tournaments like this, these grassroots events that are, in my opinion, the most fun thing to do in VGC. You meet a lot of people. You have a lot of fun. You go out for dinner with everyone at the end. It's a really, really good time. So I was thinking, you know, this is this Saturday, the 21st, right? I don't really have a team, but like I could build one, and it's Series 2. So what I'm probably going to be doing over the course of this next week is today, we're going to be building the team. Tomorrow, we're going to be getting the team in-game, getting all the shards, doing all the EVs, things like that. The third day, we're going to be playing the team in-game on cart and just like playing it against other people on the casual ladder, just goofing around trying to see if we can understand our flowcharts and our lead options just a little bit more. Day 4, we're going to go back and fix anything we need to fix, maybe play a little bit of Showdown, mix of like Showdown and in-game, seeing if there's any EVs or IVs or any sort of item or moveset choices that need to be changed. And on the 5th day, right, that's, so we got today's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. On the 5th day, we're going to be doing best of 3 practice with open team sheet. This is an open team sheet format. It's made for Series 2. And so you see, if we schedule each thing like one day in advance, we should be able to have like a pretty decent understanding of how our core works in a multitude of different situations, playing it in-game, playing it in Showdown, playing it with best of 3 practice. So hopefully we have a pretty good time today. And also, I have a cool idea for a team. I already have a team idea in my head. I've not put it out on paper yet, but I have an idea of a core that I think is pretty unique. And this is technically going to be my first open team sheet tournament for Scarlet and Violet. I played open team sheet in Sword and Shield, so I understand how it works. I've played open team sheet events in the past, but I haven't really played open team sheet in Scarlet and Violet too much. I've seen the effects of it, I've seen how it works, but you know, this team, I like to be, I'm not going to say a bully in this situation, but I like to use open team sheet and the information to tunnel my opponent into doing exactly what I want them to do. So hopefully we can make some really cool stuff happen here. We're going to be building a team around Iron Moth. I think this Pokemon, and also Iron Jugulus, they're 2 very, very underrated Pokemon. This thing is nuts. 140 base special attack is humongous. 110 base speed is so freaking good. So I really think Iron Moth is going to be good. And remember, this is for Series 2. You can use the Paradox Pokemon. So, let's go. Anyone have a Raichu Lightning Rod Grass Tear? I don't think you need Grass Tear. There's going to be a better one in just a little bit. So Iron Moth, great Pokemon. We'll talk about, I want to use it in a second, but it's a great special attack with a really, really good speed tier for the format. I think the other Pokemon I want to feature is Fluttermane. I think Fluttermane's just great. I know a lot of people think this Pokemon is like the end times coming. This is the Shadow Rider of the format, really, really hyper-aggressive Pokemon. But I like this thing, and even if it wasn't like super meta, I'd probably still use it just because I like it. I like that it hits fast. I like that it hits hard. It's basically just like a cracked out Gengar, in my opinion. That's how I like to play this thing. So we got our Volcarona and our Gengar Super Saiyan version editions. And I think obviously I want to use Garchomp. One thing that I really like to do about local tournaments, I like to use them to understand the meta. So I personally like to use Pokemon that I like at these sort of events, because if you lose a local tournament, you're still hanging out with friends. You're all going to go get dinner after or hang out or do whatever. And if you win, cool. It means that like something you were testing worked. So basically what I like to use these events for is I like to throw as much stuff as I possibly can at the wall with mons that I like and see what sticks. Then in the future be able to tweak those things to actually take them to regional tournaments. These are like the building blocks, building the foundations of how I personally come to understand metas, and I'm really, really happy to have local events back. After that, I think that we need a little bit of speed control. You see we have like a weakness to ground here. We have Garchomp, and so we would like to be able to use Earthquake if we can. So I'm going to go Talonflame here, and I'm going to opt to go Talonflame over Murkrow. I think Talonflame's just a little bit more aggressive, and I would say this team, it doesn't struggle with Amoonguss just yet, but I don't want to have to deal with Brute Bonnet and Amoongusses, so I think the Talonflame is a really, really good option. And then we have 2 more slots left. We have 2 more slots. I'm going to go with Raichu here. I think Raichu is super, super, super underrated. The Lightning Rod ability on this Raichu is going to be able to help it cover up for Talonflame's weaknesses. And we got slots for one more Mon. And I actually think this last Mon is a Mon I've used the Top Cut Regionals in the past. It's a Mon that a lot of people have actually been asking for, and I think it's very, very slept on. I think it's very, very slept on the format. It's a really, really good Mon, right? It's going to be Gastrodon. I think Gastrodon is really, really good. It's kind of boring. People think Gastrodon's boring, but Gastrodon's pretty freaking fire right now. This is a cool squad. Let's actually plug this team into a type chart and look at some of its weaknesses here. So we have Iron Moth, and we have Fluttermane. We have Garchomp. We have Talonflame. We have Raichu. Don't forget to make it, we'll have Lightning Rod. And then we're going to have Gastrodon with Storm Drain. So, this team has amazing defensive typing. We have two weaknesses to water, being on Talonflame and Iron Moth, and we have a Mon with Storm Drain and a Mon that resists there. Like that's our notification right there, our total resist. We have two weaknesses to ground on with Iron Moth and Raichu. We can go for Flying Terrors if you want, or we can switch in our Talonflame and Pokemon to switch in for that. We have two weaknesses to rock on Talonflame and Iron Moth. We can tear those away, or we can switch in either of our resistances in Garchomp or Gastrodon. Very, very, very good defensive typing on this squad. It also has a really, really good balance of physical and special attackers with support Mons and a defensive anchor in Gastrodon. I like this team a lot, and I actually think I could do well with this. So this is the squad so far, but I haven't even really talked about like what makes it cool. So now that we actually have our Mons out here, what we're going to want to do is start fleshing out some of these move sets. So what I like to do in this part of my team building guides is I like to just throw a couple moves that we know we're going to be using on each of these Mons. I actually really, really like this guy with Dazzling Gleam. I think it's really cool this thing gets Dazzling Gleam. And Dazzling Gleam is a great check to something like Hydreigon and Meowscarada, which are very popular in the format. You can chip that Meowscarada, chip that Annihilate, dumpster that Hydreigon. If they're going to have to Terra it, and they're going to see that we have Dazzling Gleam, which means we can force Terras, pivot or protect, and then be able to pin it with something else. So this is a good example of how we can use the fact that we're playing open team sheet to tunnel our opponents into basically doing what we want them to do. As far as like the other moves this guy gets, look at all the cool moves. Does this thing still get, it still gets Heat Wave, that's really good. It's probably gets like Overheat, Morning Sun, it gets Sludge Wave, it gets Toxic Spikes. This thing gets a lot of really, really cool moves. We're gonna put Heat Wave here, and we're just gonna leave the rest of this blank for now. We're just gonna leave the rest of it blank. As for Fluttermane, definitely wanna have that Dazzling Gleam. So more Dazzling Gleam. You see how we're tunneling our opponent to do what we want so that we can pin them. I want to also talk a little bit about how Iron Moth works. If you want to go, like, first of all, if I'm playing open team sheet and you have a Hydreigon, and I can see that you could, like, Terra Steel to block our Dazzling Gleam, I could go Heat Wave instead. I can drop a Protect, see what you Terra into, and then just repin you. Hydreigon is a really, really important part of the format. Iron Jugulis is going to be replacing it. Salamence is going to be replacing it. Like, Iron Moth is going to be absolutely amazing going into this moving forward. Yo, thank you so much for the sub. Appreciate it. I thank you for the sub on the weekend. But yeah, I really think like these Dazzling Gleams are pivotal in conditioning our opponent to do what we want to do based off the information that we're giving them in the open team sheet. We also want to have Shadow Ball, and we're just going to leave the rest of this blank. I don't know if I want to go with a Terra Blast set. Don't know if I want to go for Taunt or a Trick 'em Imprison. A lot of people like to think that Trick 'em Imprison is not that great in open team sheet because they're like, well, they see you have Imprison, they just won't Trick Room. And it's like, okay, but like a lot of people play hard Trick Room, and if I have a Ghost type that has Imprisoned Trick Room, you can't actually stop it. And like, I don't have to do anything spectacular, you just can't stop it. So we'll see if we want to go that route a little bit later on. As for Garchomp, I definitely want to run that EQ. I think Earthquake's going to be absolutely amazing. And I'm probably going to also run Rock Slide. I don't know if I actually want to run Dragon Claw yet. We'll talk about that in a little bit. As for Talonflame, we know we want Tailwind. Gotta have that Tailwind on Talonflame. And then probably a Brave Bird Flare Blitz set. But there are situations where you can run a more support Talonflame set. Alright, thank you so much. I had to, after all the videos I watched from you, help to build my Series 2 team with that help. Well, thank you so much for stopping by Twitch to actually show some support. I think it's so cool. Does this guy still get Faint? Like, realistically, is that still there? That's so busted. Talonflame's so good. I'm working on a team to submit to fixing with Fluttermane and Iron Moth. Such a coincidence. It's a good core. It's just a really, really good core. We'll leave this last slot blank. We don't know if we want to put the Faint or like a Protect or something there. As for the Raichu, you definitely want to have Fake Out. And a lot of people like to think that Fake Out's just not good in this gen, because you can run Covert Cloak, you can go Ghost Terra. I think Fake Out's actually still really, really good, and especially in an open team sheet situation where you can see those items ahead of time, Fake Out's really good, but I also think that Fake Out, the best thing about Fake Out is your opponent has to respect it at the start of the game, but you don't have to lead Fake Out like ever, especially because they can see it. They're going to see that you can do it, they're going to be playing around it, respecting it, and then you just bring that out in the mid game when they actually can't deal with it. Easy peasy. Easy peasy, get those Fake Outs. We were using teams on the team building guides recently where we were going into bad matchups and just saving our Fake Out users in the back to be able to like repin things and basically flip the script on these guys and go for a huge tempo swing mid game. And it was all thanks to that mid game Fake Out that we're able to do that. So very, very, very good stuff. Other than that, we can actually leave this blank because we don't want to go too deep yet. As for Gastrodon, I definitely think Gastrodon, the move that you want on this thing is Yawn. Yawn Gastrodon's like super, super, super solid. And then you could go for Chilling Waters. You could go for Clear Smogs, which we might go for the Clear Smog. But we're probably going to want to use Earth Power just to help deal with things like Gholdangos and stuff. But we'll see. We might end up replacing this Earth Power. So that's a decent understanding of what we want these moves to do on these Mons without going too in-depth into showing anything about their roles. I will say now is the point where I'm probably going to reveal a lot more about this team. Going back to this Iron Moth, there's a move that this Pokemon gets that I don't think it should get. I don't think it should get this move. I don't know why it gets this move, but it gets Discharge. Now, it's not an electric type, right? It's not. We don't do abilities until after we get all our moves, because we don't want to lock ourselves into having to use a specific type of ability. You never know. Just by saying, obviously, in any situation, Storm Drain's going to be better. But there might be a situation where Sticky Hold or Sandforce might be a better tech play and use Storm Drain as a bluff. So we don't want to have to say we need Storm Drain until we actually need Storm Drain. But Discharge. It's so weird that this thing gets it. Discharge is a really, really good move. People like to think you need Tailwind for speed control. You need Trick 'em for speed control. Sometimes all you need is Discharge. And especially in an open team sheet format where you can show your opponent, hey, I have this. You better freaking respect it. I'm actually going to put it at the top so it shows up at the top of the team preview. I think that it's going to be very, very good. I'm going to be playing matches today. We might play a few later. But look at the Discharge. Are you starting to see the tech? We have a Garchomp. We have a Raichu. We have a Gastrodon. We can discharge as much as we want. Really, really, really cool stuff. As for this last spot, you could put a poison move here. You could put so many different moves here. We're just going to leave it blank. We don't know what we want to do yet. As for Flutter Mane, I think I'm going to try this for the building phase. I'm going to try Protect, and I'm going to try Terra Blast with the Terra option that we decide to go with. And for Garchomp, I'm going to put the Dragon Claw here for now. And I'm going to put nothing yet. For this guy, we're probably going to run Protect there. For the Raichu, I definitely think that you want Discharge back on the Raichu. If I can spell. So you're going to have Discharge here. We're going to have Terra Blast. And I actually do like Feint here. I like the Feint. I know you can't Protect. I like the Feint here. I think Feint's really, really important if we're going to be going with all this AoE potential. So that's what I like. If you need help with getting the Mons in games, I can help. I think I have all the Mons that I need. I got an Iron Moth yesterday that I'll be able to, we're going to fix it tomorrow. As for the Gastrodon, if we're going to have Yawn, we probably want to have Protect. The hard part is actually making room for Yawn on these sort of sets. And I don't know exactly what this last move slot to be. So we'll go back over here. Maybe Icy Wind is what I'm thinking. So we have the Iron Moth. Now that we have a lot of our moves chosen, we don't have all of them chosen, we can actually start picking the abilities. Obviously, this thing has to have Quark Drive. Obviously, this thing has to have Photosynthesis. Garchomp should have the Rough Skin. Talonflame should have the Gale Wings. Raichu has Lightning Rod. And we do want Gastrodon to have Storm Drain. And I think there's nothing wrong with waiting and being patient to actually lock these things in, because we were able to flesh out our movesets and what we wanted these Pokemon to do before saying we had to use that ability. Do you mean locals are back? That's what I was talking about. So now that we have all this, let's start picking some item choices. I'm going to go out on a limb here and try and run this. I'm going to try and run a vest on this thing. So while we're locking in this vest for now, try and think of some other really cool moves that we could put in this last spot. Flutterman, we're going to put a Sash on this one. I'm going to try Sash. And again, this is all testing. The tournament's not for a week, so I can test as much stuff as I want. And if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. These are just things that I'm comfortable with. We're going to rock a Choice Scarf there. I want to run a Life Orb on both of these, so I don't know exactly which one I want to run it on. I think realistically it's better on the Talonflame, but there are going to be certain matchups where I need to have Covert Cloak. Like, I need to have it. So I'm going to try the Covert Cloak here, where I just cannot let them possibly fake out me. And this also makes it so I can lead with, like, Fluttermane Talonflame to avoid fake out leads, fake out pins, and stuff like that. So if they're a team that is 100% reliant on fake out, and they have a faster fake out user than my Raichu, Talonflame technically works here. But we'll see if I want to cut that, and we'll put the Life Orb back on the Raichu. We could even just put a magnet on this Raichu, realistically. Let's see. How do you check if locals are back? The people that run them. That's basically it. There's no, like, other way to do it. I feel like Vest got a little nerfed by so many physical threats. Well, yes and no, you know. I think the AV is still really good. I want to run a Life Orb here, though. What's some other good items that we could run in this situation? It's like aggressive items. I mean, the Life Orb is what we were going to use. But like Life Orb's so much better on Talonflame. And also like boosting the power of like these big 120 base moves. Life Orb boosts the power of the move itself, not your actual attack stat, as opposed to like a Choice Band or a Choice Specs. So like Life Orb is really, really good here. We could put Covert Cloak on the Raichu, but that sounds kind of lame. Let's just go with the Life Orb here. This is what the test was in the first place. This was the idea. And the last item choice here is going to be a Leftovers. The hardest part in using Leftovers in VGC as opposed to singles is like finding options for Protect, being able to weave in those Protects, have Yawn. It's a super, super good core. We're going to flesh this out with Icy Wind here for testing for now, but I don't know if I'll keep it. So now that we have all these, let's go back. We're going to put since we have a Scarf, we're going to make the Stomping Tantrum. Or we could even make that, we can make it ourselves a weird Terra and give ourselves, like, so what sort of, let's see, let's try something a little bit different. Let's try it. Let's make this into Terra Blast. What is a Pokemon that gives Garchomp problems? We can go Steel Terra Garchomp and make that Iron Head. I don't think there's a problem with that. Annihilate can sometimes give us problems. Think Bundle? Bundle, you can just Earthquake it. Oh, you mean the Bundle. Yeah, so that's going to be, I don't know if we could ever Oko it, though. So we'd have to go into the Team Builder here. So let's put in Garchomp. We have Rock Slide for Bundle, though. That's the best that we would already have. It wouldn't be any better, right? We could try and wall it, but you can't really wall Iron Bundle. That's the thing about it. But Bundle would be a Pokemon that would give Garchomp problems. Let's see. We already have Ground Terra if we want to keep it. But like I'm trying to think like maybe like a Fire Terra to be able to block stuff like that. But there's also like, you know what? Let's try the Steel. Let's try Steel. I think it's just going to be fun to try. Steel with Iron Head here. Because of the base same power anyways. I think this is worth a shot, especially in testing. This guy already has its moves and everything. And then this thing. So what did we want to use here? Let's sort this by special. And let's think about moves that we could throw in this last spot. I think Terra Blast was what I was going to go with. I was going to go with Terra Blast. I know this thing got Fire Dance. That's actually really good. What do you guys think? What's a unique move? I haven't told you guys what Terra I'm going to go yet either. But yeah, there's some, oh, ooh, it gets Fire Spin. Look at Struggle Bug too. Struggle Bug is not bad. Bug Buzz, it's not stabbing the Bug Buzz, so like you don't necessarily need Bug Buzz for anything. Sludge Wave, we would hit everything but Garchomp. That'd be kind of sick though. Steel Terra Garchomp Sludge Wave, dude. I'll put it on the list. It's stabbed. Like I can protect. Like Garchomp can Steel Terra. Sludge Wave is the right tech. So we have all these mons. Let's start adding some of these Terra options to these guys. I think with this, I'm going to be Ground Terra. And I want to be Ground Terra so I can use my discharges next to it. Like discharge next to the Raichu. I can discharge with this and discharge with this. That's the reason why I want to go Ground Terra. And I'm a big fan of Dark on this thing for now. I was testing it the other day and I really liked it. It makes it so you can't get taunted by pranksters or anything weird. You can't get hit by speed control by pranksters or anything weird. And it makes so you lose that weakness to Ghost. You lose a couple other weaknesses and stuff like that. So, it's good tech. I got the Steel Terra here. I think you double dip your flying typing here, just so you can actually go for a massive Brave Bird if you have to. Raichu is going to be Flying Terra as well. So you can go for Terra Blast and just get those grass types off the board because they're the things that wall the Garchomp. And then the Gastrodon, Gastron usually go Fire Terra, right? Is that wrong? We get a weakness to ground if we have to, but I don't think it's that big a deal. We can also think about maybe going Ghost Terra if we had to be able to avoid fake outs and or E-speed pins. But we'll try the Fire Terra. So now we have all of our Terras done. We have all of our moves done. The last thing that we want to do is get our EVs done. So with Iron Moth, I think it's going to be really, really important that Iron Moth outspeeds Garchomp. We don't really have anything other than Dazzling to hit it. But if we go Ground Terra, they make it so we don't just get O-Code right back. We can two-shot with Dazzling against standard Chomp. So we want to outspeed Garchomp. And then by proxy outspeeding Garchomp, we're going to outspeed everything under than Garchomp. So we already have a Garchomp over on this side. Let's start plugging in some stuff here. Give it a jolly nature. And so a Garchomp at level 50 would be 169. So we need to get to 170. And so we're still gonna have to be timid, but we don't need to be full speed. Probably like a 228. So you can see if we just put 252, we're not fast enough. We still have to be timid, which is unfortunate, but it's okay. And I think it's really, really important to outspeed that thing. Otherwise, Garchomp just sends us to the Shadow Realm, in my opinion. So let's go probably 228. No, it's way less. Cool. It's like 180 or something. 196. 196 timid. Cool. So that's the speed that we need on this thing. That's nice to meet you. First time making it to one of your streams. Really? In a hot minute, I was going to be like, I see you all the time. But yeah, I like this a lot, and it makes it so we can just run the rest of our stats in super bulk. We know that we want to go 252 here, since our special defense, and not necessarily defense, but like, you might as well max this stat out. And then we actually don't need to deal a ton of damage with these discharges. We're using these for speed control. These mons aren't going to be picking up humongous KOs on these things. So what I would do is probably like a 452. And I would test this. Like, this is what we're going to test. It might work. It might not work. We might need a lot more special attack. Who really knows? I want this thing to be a bulky bruiser that can outspeed Garchomp and is a sticky mon to get off the board, right? That's what I want out of this thing. We also get a boost to speed, which is actually really nice if Quark Drive happens to activate. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with that. Flutter Mane, we can just click the button here, put this in defense, put this into HP. And I think this is worth testing like this. We have a Sash set, makes sense. Garchomp, I want to be able to outspeed Annihilate with my Scarf set, but we don't need to be full speed. We're going to speed creep the set that I've made popular at the start of the format, which was 164 by just a little bit. We go 252 over here, and then we go 2064. This is just a set that I'm very comfortable with Garchomp, and again, the whole point of this tournament is to play with things that are comfortable. This is the Scarf Chomp set that I like using. Talonflame, I think you actually still have to go full speed Jolly on these guys, and the reason you have to go full speed Jolly is because we barely outspeed Meowscarada as it is, and Meowscarada is very, very popular. We want to always be outspeeding Meowscarada. It's a very, very problematic Pokemon for this team. It checks our Gastrodon. It can mess with our Iron Moth or our Garchomp in the right situation, so we definitely have to get it off the board. All right, what is Terragon for? So we can use discharges to enable our Raichu. One thing that's actually really important as well, let's actually think about this, is I forgot. We want the Iron Moth to be faster than Raichu, so it actually enables it correctly. That's not going to be good. I mean, we can make them... I mean, if that's the case, actually, I'm going to talk about this. I can always come back to this. Thank you so much. Good doggo. Gift and 2 subs. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. You're absolutely wonderful and amazing. Holy moly. Appreciate it. Appreciate it so much. Let's do this. Raichu needs to be the one that's getting enabled by this thing. So what if we made this guy into a 252 set? What if we just did that? Right? Might as well. And what if we made the Raichu the one that was the 196 plus to make it so Raichu outspeeds Garchomp? Right? And then we could go like a 252 over here. And then realistically, we could even go like put the last 60 in here to make it so we actually hit even harder with these fake outs and these feints. 90 base attack is not bad. It's not bad. Right? What do you guys think about that? By the way, YouTube got me on a Twitch. Been so nice finding this community. Resub drops and go. Thank you so much for the gifted subs. Thank you. I appreciate it. Any gifted subs at all, super, super help the channel. So thank you so much for the support. I think this is actually a good thing. Summer, how's it going? I saw that you're going to Knoxville. Hope you have a good time. But yeah, I think this is worth testing. Again, I want to really stress the importance of, like, people think you have to make your teams, like, perfect and they have to be, like, absolutely amazing right off the bat. No, you just need to get something that you can play with to understand if you're even on the right track. Locals for CP are back. I didn't say that. I just said locals are back. So I don't. This event does not get CP. It's just a local. All right. So yeah, we get the lightning round boost here because now our Iron Moth outspeeds our Raichu. I'm gonna try this. If it works, it works. And this set outspeeds Garchomp. As for Gastrodon, you don't actually need to go 252 in your Gastrodon because you could be getting diminishing returns on your defense stat, like big diminishing returns. So I usually go with like a 196, and then you go a little bit heavy into these other defenses. So we still need this to be like a 105. Sorry, 106. So don't get those diminishing returns. And then you can go with like, I actually like my Gastrodons to have speed. So they can pin other Gastrodons. That's just my opinion. So I'm going to put 4 there. And then I think we go like 1, 6, 4. And then we're going to put our nature here. Get the attack drop there. And correct me if I'm wrong. Just make sure. Cool. And then the last 4 in special attack. This is how I like to run my Gastrodons a little bit more. They're just very, very bulky. Like super, super bulky. Put those leftovers to work. I guess we could technically even make it so we get our leftovers number to a different number, but I think this is a good set. I'm testing a team, very comfortable with it. I started out trying out bulky Abomasnow, but it's not living much, so I'll make it more speedy. What I've learned from testing. Yeah, like Sash Abomasnow is great. I think Sash Abomasnow is great. There's nothing wrong with like playing it easy to understand, like simple and clean. So speaking about that, this team looks good to go. And so we're going to go play some games with it. We're going to go play some games and see if any of the things that we actually worked on here have an impact moving forward. Let's see. There's the Amoonguss we talked about. We talked a little bit about Iron Bundle. We see the, what is it, Iron Hands over there as well. Very, very good team. Let's see. Should I accept open team sheets? I know that we're testing for an open team series event, so it might be a good idea to accept the open team sheets, but since I'm still uncomfortable playing open team sheets, I'd rather play what's comfortable for me right now and see if I can actually do a good job of understanding things. I always talk about the importance of like trying to play your games in cart as opposed to showdown. And the reason why I like doing that is because I feel like showdown, you can play with too many, I call them training wheels, right? You can see their base speeds, you can see all their moves and stuff like that. It helps a little bit. And so I want to see if I have the right intuition as to what these Pokemon should be doing against our team. So I'm going to play this first game without open team sheet, and we're definitely testing open team sheet, but not this second. So let's see. I don't think there's a problem with Iron Moth, and our Fake Out user outspeeds our Fake Out user. So this plus this is very, very good. And then I think that Garchomp's going to be good because they don't have any forms of other speed control. Like Scarfchomp's just a big bully versus like half of those guys. And then we already have our Faint Mon. I think that Talonflame can still be good here, but Flutter Mane's probably better. We're going to go with Talonflame for now. And Talonflame might be the reason why we lose this game. So we see Iron Hands and Iron Bundle. So we outspeed the things that we need to outspeed here. Worst case scenario we could do is a Fake Out trade where I fake out their Iron Bundle and then they fake out my Iron Moth. And I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to that. This thing is a fighting electric type. So what we could actually do is this. You pivot in Iron Moth and you fake out here. You fake out the Iron Bundle, and then they fake out here, take a tick. Yep, and so they get a Rough Skin tick. And then next turn, we're going to go with a Feint into the Wide Guard. And so we're going to go we're going to go EQ. Flying Terror so we don't hit ourselves. Feint to break the Wide Guard. They didn't Wide Guard. Hey, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Oh, they live just barely. So it's my fault. So I'm not understanding the calcs this team needs to do. But you can see how technically we're still playing the game in an almost correct way. Almost correct way. Let's think about what we need to be doing here. We can just go Feint there. And Discharge isn't the right play. Probably Dazzling Gleam is the right play. You don't want to miss a Heat Wave. So Dazzling Gleam plus Feint. This would still break the Wide Guard if they wanted to do it. They pivot. Okay, we should be able to KO the Iron Hands here, I think. Oh my god, he's so thick. So that's probably vested. Okay. And so it's at this point that we don't necessarily want to even show that we brought Talonflame. Like it was be at this point, like realistically, even last turn, we could have technically scooped to be able to save the information for game 2. But it is what it is. So we'll scoop that one up. And so I think, like by reviewing this replay, I think I played the start to the best of my ability using mons that I've never used against mons that I've never really seen before. Again, these are my first real times playing against these in Series 2. So I pivoted in the Garchomp, right? I went for the Fake Out. Remember, I have investment and attack on this Raichu. So I thought like a mixture of Fake Out, Feint, plus EQ would be able to get it off the board. Maybe, you know, if we want to tighten up this flowchart a little bit more, what we can do is we can think about going with like an Adamant Garchomp that could almost maybe do the same thing. So let's talk about that. What speed tier does Garchomp actually have to be to outspeed the Annihilate, which is what I want it to do. I want to see if I can get away with Adamant. That's what I want to see. Because right now we have a 172 Jolly. I think I might be able to go Adamant. And if I was Adamant, the game would have been over and we would have won. So right there. So this guy hits... and we're doing this to outspeed Scarf Final Gambit, by the way. I think I can go Adamant, but, you know, we'll see. So a Jolly, give it a +1 boost. 234, we have a +1 as well. 237. So we do still need to be Jolly. That's like absolutely ridiculous, but let's see what happens. Maybe we don't. Take some of that out, make this guy Adamant. 231, yeah, we still have to do it. Yeah. Maybe that means we shouldn't be using Garchomp for this team, or maybe that means what we should be doing in this situation is cutting the Iron Head, going back to a Ground Terra, because I like that flowchart versus Iron Bundle. I would like to keep that. Go back to Ground, and just make this into a Stone Edge. That is the check for that. I still think you want to have Rock Slide. I think that this is a better play then. So, if we were to go back and replay this replay, yes, we have to hit an 80% accuracy move, but that Iron Bundle will be gone. And if they just have Arcanine, Iron Hands, we still have all 4 of our Mons. Remember, we Terra defensively to be able to block the Drain Punch. Garchomp just switches out, comes back in, EQ City. Right. So we see the Iron Bundle again. This time they don't have Fake Out support. And you say, the set has Claw right now. I think Claw's still good. This is why I run Speed Boost on Iron Bundle to outspeed Scarf Chomps. But, like, do you outspeed our Scarf? Oh, Scarf on the Bundle. Yes, Scarf on the Bundle. Yeah, Scarf. I always think that Bundle and Hands, I always mix them up. But I actually don't hate this. I think Gastron's going to be very, very pivotal. I'm not a big fan of Gastro versus Gastro Mirrors, but you can see our Gastro doesn't even have a water attack to proc them. So we can definitely bring Gastrodon. We have to assume there's a Grass Terror there somewhere, or maybe the Goodra's Power Whip. And so let's see. I don't think there's a problem with going Raichu. Raichu Talonflame lets me get up a Tailwind, but it might cost me. I'm going to try that. I'm going to go Raichu and Talonflame. I know it sounds weird. And then we're going to go Iron Moth to be able to go for our Discharge Strat. And then we actually don't have that good of a time versus their Gastrodon. Like, I actually really dislike this. Gastrodon's probably not right. It's okay. So Scizor and Iron Bundle. And do they get the Quark Drive boost to speed? Okay, so they use their item already. So in this case scenario, we can just go for like, I think that there's nothing wrong with Tailwind and Fake Out, because we would just be trading Tailwinds at that point. And I'm okay with that. I'm like absolutely okay with that. Yep, U-turn. Cool. Hey, that's totally fine. I think that's completely fine. So you're U-turning. I'm going to say that's a ban on your Scizor. Not because I got one-shotted and I'm weak, but I'm going to say it's a ban because that just kind of shouldn't happen. I can come with the Iron Moth here. I'm going to go for the Discharge. I don't know if it's enough damage to take out, though. There's no reason to Terra. If you Wide Guard, you Wide Guard, but I don't know if you have it. So let's see. Pivot in the Gastrodon, Ground type, Discharge up, and we get the double KO. Easy peasy. Could have been Sash on Pelver, there wasn't. You know. Discharge, boys. And so we sacrificed the Raichu early, but we got up the Tailwind, and we still have the Talonflame in the back to be able to pin things like that Mungus over there. Yeah, you needed to get the Tailwind up. And if they had Wide Guard and we were playing open team sheet, yeah, they might use it. But, like, if I saw they had the Wide Guard, I probably wouldn't have clicked it. I probably would have done something. This would be played differently in an open team sheet, but we're just trying to get an understanding of how the team works. All right, so there's their Gastro and Scizor. Awesome. So we don't know their Terra yet, so I don't think there's a problem. I think we're going to Terra here because we want to be ground so we don't just get OHKO'd by Gastrodon. And we might actually want to think about making this last move into a grass attack because I think Gastrodons are actually going to be hard to deal with for this team. We're going to yawn into their Gastro, and we're going to go Terrastalize. Am I actually discharging? No, I'm just Deagleam. It's just standard damage. It's decent damage versus the Gastro, but you just got for leftovers, which is why I want to do it. And you could go for like any sort of thing there. Yep, it's fine. You saw that we outsped their Scizor. Awkward. And there's the Earth Power block. Easy peasy. So now we understand a lot more about their team. They can Iron Head this if they want. This is turning into Talonflame. It's going to block the EP and resist the Iron Head, and then we're going to go all in on their Gastro. Actually, let's just yawn their Gastro while we're here then. And switch in Talonflame. It's a little bit greedier, but it works. Oh, we have a Tailwind. Yeah, so Gastrodon plus Tailwind outspeeds their Scizor. I was like, is that Iron Ball Scizor? That's weird. Yeah, Tailwind was really, really good there. And, yeah, this is a scoop for them. It's a slow loss from them at this point. They cannot actually break our Gastrodon. So, we do be taking those. And I think the slight changes we made to that were good. We'll see. We don't need to get subs. I mean, I'm probably going to go anyways, but like I just want to get that out there so when people watch the video, they see the context of what we're doing a little bit more. But I'll probably be going. Gotta pay for gas, man. It's actually like a 3-hour drive away from my house. This is not a local. It's like a 3-hour drive for me to go to this tournament. So it's an investment. So let's see. Grimmsnarl with a little bit of Shed Tailmon, a little bit of redirection. I think Fluttermane's going to be good here. Dazzling hits all those very, very hard. And I don't hate Raichu, but I know that like Amoonguss can be a problem that I don't want to deal with. And I think we have to go like Raichu. We would go Fake Out D-Gleam, and then next turn Dumpster the Amoonguss. So I like this play from us. Note that I'm really relying on the Raichu more than I thought I would be doing. But I still think it works. I think we can bring the Garchomp here. And Talonflame's going to be great. Let's go. Can't bother to drive 3 hours for tournament OCP. Yo, I'm dedicated to improving the scene. It's for the love of the game, boys. Awesome. So we have Fake Out D-Gleam. Absolutely standard. So this is really, really good lead for us. We're able to stop them from getting their screens. We have a faster Fake Out than they do, unless they're like some sort of weird-ass Scarf set. And then we just go for D-Gleam. We should be able to almost get that thing off the board or get it off the board unless they Terra. Grimm might even go down as well. Maybe not. We'll see. There's the Dazzling Gleam. Here's the Fake Out. They might even be protecting on Qual if they have it, but I think we're in a good spot. So Steel, we have a Scarf Chomp in the back, so we should be fine. There's the flinch there. It'd be great to get Scrim off the board. Very, very bulky Grimm on Fort. And they're going to go for Focus Energy. I don't think that's the play. I'm not going to lie. I think that's not the play. We're going to pivot in our Garchomp and just go for a Discharge. Because we got to let them get that up, and we don't want to actually lose our Sash yet. Yeah, Kilowatt's really good. No, there's a light screen. Awesome. Para, 30%? Never lucky. Oof, they took the Raichu off the board. That works for me. So they have a speed boost on the thing, and it's technically fast, but it's not fast enough because we had Talonflame. You see how that kind of worked? If they would have went into the Garchomp, they didn't really get anything. If they go into Raichu, they open up the slot for me to win the game. They have more Fake Out users left. We'll go, oh, look at this board. Like, we still have Terra. I'm actually going to ground Terra. And just go for Tailwind, and we win. The only way they would be able to do something is Feint here to break my Gale Wings. And then OHKO there. But easy peasy. And if you want to hit the Talonflame, hit the Talonflame. You're going to pop on the Garchomp and Dumpstered. Power of Rough Skin. That's a scoop. So we take those wins. Easy peasy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. But yeah, like, someone has to, like, go to locals, right? This is my opinion on local tournaments. If you don't support your local scene for anything you're passionate about, it could be music, it could be video games, it could be sports, it can be, like, your local, you know, trivia nights. If you don't support the local scenes that pop up for the things that you like when you have the time to do it, they won't be around when you actually want to do it, right? So if I just don't go to this local, and I don't go to the next one, and I don't go to the next one, by the time I actually want to go to the local, if enough people have that same mentality, the locals won't have enough consistent people to actually run. Events like these aren't like fast food businesses. They're run off passion of like the community that builds them up. So you have to actually go to your locals, even if it's a bit of an investment, to actually keep it alive. That's how these things work. People complain their neighborhoods aren't cool, and like, yeah, because you live there and don't support anything. Yep, it's 100%. So like, I know, like, it's normal for me to know that I have to drive like 3 hours, which sucks, by the way. I live in California. I shouldn't have to drive 3 hours to go to a Pokemon tournament, but it is what it is. All right, a little bit of Parish. I fought against these double trap teams before, so Ghost Mons are really, really good here. Fake Out's really, really good here. And let's see. I like the Fake Out. I think the Fake Out is the right play. Fake Out's good. And Fluttermane's not bad. I don't hate Fluttermane. I think Garchomp is a decent one to bring in the back. And I think Gastron's a slow loss. I think Iron Moth is very okay. I think it's going to be Talonflame. Talonflame to get like these guys just deleted. That's Covert Cloak though. I don't want to use Covert Cloak Flame. Let's use Iron Moth. I'm not a fan of the Iron Moth in this situation. California is one of those 3 states you can drive 8 hours and be in the same state. I agree. Yep. You can be in the same part of the state, hell. You can drive from NorCal, drive 8 hours south, and still be in NorCal. But let's see what they want to do. Realistically, this is one of the reasons why I think Raichu's such a good Pokemon in this format. People still have Fake Out. Fake Out's actually on the rise going into Series 2. But those aren't fast Fake Out users. If you're reliant on your Fake Out users to not lose the game, I got something to say to you, son. Like, you got a couple problems. This is problem number 1. Like, I'm going to be able to Fake Out your Fake Out users and do what I want to whatever other mons you might have. I'm going to wait for them. Start this up. I wonder if they have any... I feel with Parish, it's one of those teams that actually really struggles with open team sheet. Because, like, with the Parish, every single Parish team has, like, one thing that they use to, like, make the team work. They have, like, a Ghost Reduce Berry or a Dark Reduce Berry or an Eject button on something. And if you can see that from the team preview, you're in a really, really good spot. So the first thing you want to try and do is switch. It would tell you if you can't. It says you're trapped and cannot switch. Anytime you see a Shadow Tag user, you should be trying to switch just to see it with your first mon. You always can cancel and go back, but, you know, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So in this situation, they can go Parish there, they can go Fake Out there, so they can Fake Out here, which means we want to do 2 things. I'm going to respect the Gothita a little bit more than I probably should, and do it like that. Like that. So, are you trying to Fake Out? Yes or no? No, they're trying to Trick Room, and that's absolutely fine. You can Perish, but you didn't get a Trick Room, which means we're in a really, really okay spot, I would say. Let's see, and then this turn we just go Faint, and do it again. Faint plus Dazzling will actually get the KO, I think, because we had 90. These 60 points in attack are actually really freaking cool on this Raichu. They're not on any of those websites. You just have to know the people that host them. It's all about that local community. People usually do a good job of sharing that stuff, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they either pivoted or switched. A lot of the mons they want to switch to on that team take good damage from the Dazzling Gleam. And I can always just switch out my Fluttermane. It's a Ghost type. That's like one of the advantages of being Ghost. You can just pivot in those situations. They're big thinking. Big thinking. And you just deny the Trick Room in that situation. You're in a good spot. They got auto-selected. And we just take it out. Cool. And they can hit one of our mons here. Doesn't matter to me who they hit at all. Oh, they tried to Perish. Oh, they just got super auto-selected. Super auto-selected. Like, we Mind Crushed them so hard in the first turn. Like, super auto-selected. Alright, so we can just switch out the Fluttermane this turn for Garchomp and just go for a Discharge. Just so we don't get messed up by the Perish. And that Mon can still Trick Room. I just don't want to deal with it. You can totally Trick Room me. It doesn't really matter. We can also Para the Scream Tail. That'd be sick. Citrus Berry on the Azumarill. Awesome. And Trick Room. Calm Mind. Hey, go nuts, Chuck. Go nuts. Liquidate. Take that big damage anywhere else. Let's actually think about this. We put Stone Edge on there. I think we just go for a Faint EQ. Faint there, KO your own guy. And then bring out... Ooh, we don't want to lock ourselves into the EQ though, right? we're not locked. We can just switch here. Yeah, we'll just switch then. Comment on the thing's unique. Protect. Hey, there it is. We thought about fainting, but it's dead now. So, someone copied a Perish Trap team and, oh god, bulk up. What is it going to do? I didn't even know the thing got bulk up. That's kind of nuts. So we have the EQ, or it's not EQ. We have Rock Slide plus Discharge, which is actually great. And let's see what they have in the back. It's probably Goth, but it doesn't really matter. Do you think Roaring Moon, Booster Energy, Acrobatics, Flying Terror would work in your team? It's too much investment, but I think it's an okay mon. Yeah, this thing's dead. Heat Wave plus Rock Slide. Don't need a Terra. Store Power? It's probably Store Power. Great tech. But yeah, I've used the Roaring Moon on teams before. I feel it's a little underwhelming, but that's just my opinion. We'll be able to get this thing off the board as long as we hit our 2 moves and be in a good spot. And they just dipped. I'm not surprised. I usually have pretty good matchups versus Perish Trap. Obviously, this guy misplayed a little bit, but we mind crushed the crap out of their team on turn 1. They tried to trick room us, and we just didn't let him do it. Let's see. So we lost the first one. We changed some things, understood a little bit more about what our team needed to do. Then we won the next 3, and so this is our last one. So if this was a tournament, this would be like the last round of a local. Yes, it sucks we lost our first one, but like we would still, if we win this one, have enough to get in the top cut. So it's one thing you want to think about. Pretty standard stuff, but big weaknesses to the EQ on Garchomp. So they have the Intimidate. It's going to be a pivotal part of their strategy. We can't fake out the 2 ghost types. I think Raichu's probably better off as a mon in the back. They don't have Tailwind, which is actually really nice. There's probably a Scarf there somewhere. There's also no fake out. We could lead Talonflame and just go Talonflame Garchomp and probably still be fine, but they're probably going to Terra something weird. So we actually want to save the Garchomp in the back, I think. Garchomp in the back is probably good. I actually don't mind Iron Moth Raichu. Fake out, discharge, enable the Raichu, and then discharge again. I like that a lot with like Garchomp and Talonflame in the back. There might be a reason to use Flutter Mane, but I don't want to get Sucker Punched, Iron Headed, anything weird. Talonflame's a good check about Golden Lego as well. When's the next community tournament? I don't know yet. We'll see. We will see. So there's the Arcanine. We wanted to not lead with something that was susceptible to that. I think we just go fake out, discharge. Just fake out, discharge, fake out that big backs to stop it, because that's the only mon that really has speed control over there. And we should be in a good spot. That Arcanine can go for a Snarl. It can go for a bunch of different stuff, but like they're also risking getting hit by discharge paralysis. Like this is my speed control. And we're also going to see when the Baxcalibur flinches if it's like a Scarf set or something weird. I would not be surprised to see, what is it, Loaded Dice is the usual set that people like to go for. And if we hit that Arcanine at all, it's within range for Garchomp EQ. So, here we go, 7%. It didn't flinch yet. So, Lightning Rod active, resisted on the backs. No para, unlucky. Unlucky boys. There's the flinch. So, I think this turn, it's definitely the double discharge play. Like, I love this. Like, it's not the coolest, strongest thing, but like, I'm definitely doing it. I think they should be switching out the Arcanine, but they're not. So there's a Lightning Round boost there. It's so sick. There's the Para on Arcanine. That's what we like to see. Double discharge. We didn't Ground Terror because we don't want to waste it. It sucks we paralyze ourselves, but we got the Para. Everything's paralyzed. Yo, this is the coolest thing. Oh, is that a Silic Berry? But then he's paralyzed. The double para. Do you see the value, guys? Dude, do you guys actually see the value? And then we just go Dazzling Gleam to finish that guy off, and then like a discharge again. Do we even want to do that? That's a good question. Dude, this team's so sick. I'll discharge our own Iron Moth again. It's fine. Just to finish off the Arcanine. It's also really, really good to be able to pin the... it's probably vested. Glaive Rush is absolutely fine. The cool thing about that play was discharge makes it so they can't switch in on things as easily. Great time to come in with Garchomp. Great time to come with Garchomp. They could still Flying Terra some of these away, but if you want to Flying Terra, you get discharged. Like, that's the way the team works. Like, what are you going to do, Sylveon? EQ plus this discharge. So discharge plus EQ probably just takes that thing out, right? They could go Fire Terra won't help them. Steel Terra won't help them. Fairy Terra, they don't really need to do that. Discharge 30% of the time works all the time. This might be us overextending just a tad. Just a tad, but I think it's probably right. Because, like, realistically, this Hyper Voice is going to give us problems. They tried to protect there, didn't work. EQ takes out the Baxcalibur. Single target versus Sylveon. Can we get another Para? Para. Nope. Ow. The Garchomp's thick, though. We dummy thick. and the Throat Spray. They could have Quick Attack here, but that's okay because we outspeed and go for Brave Bird in that slot. And so you see how we kind of set this up. They had to crit that Hyper Voice, by the way. And Gengar. So we can go for 2 different plays here. I think the realistic best play is EQ. Because EQ would clock the Gengar Sash. Even if we get Curse Body, we can struggle finish KO. And we actually hit the Sylveon with this. I think it's the right play. Because I want to stop Quick Attack. Yep. And if they take out Garchomp with something weird, like let's say I have Sash and they hit the Garchomp, Talonflame just outspeeds Gengar and pins. Yep, totally fine. And we'll take the wins. The only way we lose this is if they're Scarfed and they crit. But they're Sash, so they're dead. We win. Cool beans. We'll take it. So remember how we talked about, we lost the first one, but then we went and we won all the other games. This would technically be enough. They can go into the Dark type, absolutely fine. But we'll take those wins. And so if this was a tournament, we would have went 4-1. Even though it's a weak 4-1 because we got bad tiebreakers on our first game, this would have technically been enough to top cut a local tournament. And we got better at playing the team in every single round. So it would have been really good.